Hello friends, SentinalH here, and welcome back to our ChromatiCraft tutorial series. Wait, I have Regeneration 3 on me. That's why I've got that weird thing. Anyway, in this episode, we're going to take a look at the Transposition Gate, which is awesome. It's one of my favorite things in ChromatiCraft because it's really, really cool. First of all, we take a look at our lumen tree. We can see that it's got a lot of leaves now. Quite a lot of leaves. And our Zambaro leaves have over 1 million lumens. We got 280,000 lumens of Kajani, 856,000 of Vidali. We got a lot of power going on here, which is pretty cool. It makes sense that there's more Zambaro, in my opinion, because that one over there, it's got power crystals on it, so it's got more power. I don't know if that's the reason there's so much more Zambaro, but it's cool. Our lumen tree is growing. So, let us get right into the Transposition Gate, because it's pretty complex. It's a cool multi-block, extremely useful. So, if we go into the book, I was already there, but if you go all the way down to the bottom to where the multi-block stuff is, and you go to the right, to the end game section, you'll find the Transposition Gate listed as this crystalline stone column. We can select it in order to see the multi-block. It's pretty awesome looking. If you've watched the Revolution 3 series recently at all, you've seen us use this plenty of times. If we hit this button, you can see all the things that we need. We need 12 now this is to make one gate. In order for the Transposition Gate to be at all useful, you got to make 2 of them, because this is a teleportation portal. It lets you instantly travel from one to another, so you're going to have to double all of these requirements and build at least 2 before this will actually help you. So 12 crystalline stone, 12 crystalline stone columns, 4 energy stabilizers, 4 stone beams, 8 stone corners, 4 engraved crystalline stone, 32 bricks, 1 aura stabilizer, 8 resonance rings, 12 shielding cloaks, which you'll have to mine out of the ChromatiCraft structures. You know, the underground hovels and those things where you find loot chests and stuff. And then 1 transposition core. Now, I'm not sure if we've talked about the crystalline energy stabilizer yet. I don't know if any of our multi-blocks actually required it. But this is... there's no recipe for it. Maybe you have to steal them from something else. I'm not going to say one way or the other how you get them, because I don't know for sure. But I'll find out later and make an update in the comments. Alright, so once we've acquired all of these things, I know that the energy stabilizers are part of the pylons have them, see? So we got a pylon right here. It's got some energy stabilizers in it right here. Power, yeah. So if there's no way to craft them, then you'd have to steal them from pylons, which means breaking a pylon, you know. So go out, find one that you don't have any interest in, steal the block from it. Alright, so once we've acquired those, we need to go into the book and go over to energy on the ambient lumen distributor. That's not what we want. We'll talk about that later. I want to talk about this because I like it a lot. Transposition core. It's over here in the endgame section, up towards the top. And being the prudent designer you are, you decide to split your base into multiple structures. Getting to them becomes annoying. Link between any 2 points at will. The supremacy of this method of travel will act as an emancipation. Okay, so this is all a reference. This down here is a reference to Civilization Beyond Earth, because the Transposition Gate is designed to look like the Emancipation Gate, which was the way that you won the supremacy victory in that game, which I did play, and I quite liked, although it was not well received. Okay, so lumen reception range 32 meters. It requires very shifting amounts of these resources. Kiro, Zambaru, Tahara, Asvesti, and I think that's Galazio. Okay, so if we go into crafting, we can see how to make this. You need to have an energized void core. Okay, then you need to have some enderstone powder. So you're gonna need to go to the end, acquire these resources. Enderstone powder is mined. That's why it doesn't show up as a crafting thing. It is a mined resource. I shouldn't have done that. The same with spatial rifting powder. If you remember this stuff, this was an ingredient for some of the high-end alloys. Then you need 8 boosted asbestos shards and a bunch of iron. That's like 1, 2, 3, that's like 8 of it. The energized void core, on the other hand, requires that you have some Curo runes in place, and then, oh boy. So what you need to do is you need to get a crystal star, and then get all this crap and energize it. So I'm going to go ahead and grab all of these items, and then we'll be back when I'm ready to craft this thing. Alright, so I've got everything that I need. There's quite a few resources that you need in order to make this. It's kind of a grab bag. The one that we haven't talked about at all is what's called fire essence. But it comes from this stuff, which is firestone, which you'll find, as it describes, buried deep in the nether. This is almost painfully hot. I wonder if standing on it hurts you. We're going to go into Game Mode 0. Stupid skeleton over there. Nope, it doesn't. Ah! Stupid skeleton shooting me. Anyway, you can mine this quite easily, and it drops quite a lot of this stuff. So you'll get a good amount of fire essence from finding some of that. So you got to go to the nether and get that. Of course, you're also going to have to go to the end, and you're going to have to find enderstone and get the spatial rifting powder, which comes from another one. So the spatial rifting powder, I think, comes from voidstone. So you need to find that, and probably need these vibrant crystal. Well, let's find out. We'll grab some of that, and we'll grab some of this voidstone, and we'll go place it down, and we'll see what we get. Because I don't remember. I think voidstone gives you the spatial rifting powder, because we took a look at it when we made some of this stuff over here. So we'll just place this down, and then we will go back into Game Mode 0, and we'll mine it. So the voidstone grants you, spatial rifting powder, and then we don't need this stuff. These are resonant crystals. What we need is void essence, which comes from void reeds. Great. So you can grow this stuff. You'll find this in, I think, swamp biomes, or does it grow in the nether? I mean, the end. I don't know. But no, it doesn't, because Shiva had void reeds. So you can find these in the world, maybe in the Ender Forest biome. I'm not sure. And then you'll have to, you can grow them yourself. Shiva had a little farm of them. But you'll need to go to the end and get voidstone. Okay? Great. So we'll go back into the creative mode, and we'll get rid of these things that we don't need. And for some reason, copper ore. And then we'll go ahead and craft this stuff. Now you also need these iridescent crystal shards. If you remember, you make that in this infusion stand. Okay? So you need to use the infusion stand to make the iridescent shards. And then we need some runes in place. I think we already have the runes in place. Let me go back in here. I don't know which page this energized void star is actually on, so I'm just linking to it from void core. Linking to it from here. 2 up and 1, 2, 3 over. 2, 2, 3. It's going to be underneath this one. A Curo rune. Nope. So what? That needs to be a Curo rune, I think. Let me take a look again. Make sure I'm not giving any false information. Because I forgot to check the Y level. It's Y level -1. Yeah, so it's got to be below the table. And 4 up. 1, 2, 3 over. 1, 2 down. So 1, 2, 3 over. 1, 2 down. Yeah. So you're going to need to, underneath. Oh, we've got one there already. We didn't have one on the other side. So yeah, you got to put it here, but underneath the table level, so -1. So it's going to be a Curo rune underneath that, and a Curo rune underneath that if you want to craft this stuff. Alright, so first things first, so you got to craft a crystal star. I think we talked about the crystal star because we talked about all the other stars. It's crafted using a nether star, and then you got to have these Curo runes at Y equals -1, 1, 2, 3 away, which we do, see down there. And then it requires 1 boosted crystal of every type, 4 crystal cores, and 4 elemental cores, which we crafted in the past out of a binding crystal, and then 1 of each elemental stone. So these things aren't cheap. Thankfully, you do get 4 of the crystal stars for this recipe. You're going to have to kill the Wither to get another star, or kill a void monster. They give you nether stars, I believe. And then go ahead and craft this. Then throw that straight back into your casting table so that we can craft the energized variant. A bit of a complex casting recipe just because of where things have to go. But there we go. It also requires 5,000 lumens of Curo, and that's it. It's actually very cheap on the lumen power as far as that goes. So yeah, Ender Pearl, Emerald, Diamond, Gunpowder for some reason. Yeah, a little bit of everything. So we'll go ahead and start placing this stuff. So the Void Essence goes right here, and then it also goes right there. And the Emerald goes on the top, while the meteor. Gunpowder goes on the bottom. We put a diamond on the far left and an ender pearl on the far right. Okay, I gotta recheck. Oh, I know another one. The iridescent crystal shards go in the four corners, the outer corners. Right? Nope, that's the wrong one. Give me that back. The outer corners. Oh, I hit that button. There's no button on this page. And then we put the boosted Tahara and the boosted Curo shards go around the center. The spatial rifting powder goes there. Fire essence goes there. Okay. So spatial rifting powder is going to go here, there, while the fire essence and enderstone powder go here. So the fire essence goes there, down there, while the enderstone powder goes there and over there. Now we take our boosted shards, which I need more of. Why did I only give myself 2? I need 4 of these. Boosted Tahara, boosted Curo. So Tahara goes like this, while the Curo goes in the inner corners. And that should be it. Yep, energized void core. We can go ahead and craft this. We'll cast it, whatever. Ah! I don't think that's supposed to look like that. It's only like that because this table has an unreasonable amount of lumen energy already in it. So it looks weird. There we go. We have our energized void core. Now, we want to turn this... No, I can't hit you on that. It'll just give me that. Into our transposition core. It's going to take 1 for 1. You only get 1 out of this recipe. You're going to have to make 2 of these. So, yeah. A little expensive. I mean, the transposition gate is considered endgame. So in order to make the core itself, you need your energized void core, more enderstone powder, more spatial rifting powder, boosted asvesti shards, and iron ingots. So we'll go ahead and grab that stuff. So we'll need 4 of the rifting and 4 of the end. So there's 4 rifting, 4 end, and then we'll get our boosted asvesti shards, which makes a lot of sense. Energy of motion. I think we need 8 of that. I'll get rid of these runes. I don't need them. We'll need some iron. It's always interesting when we see I see like mundane resources required for these high level magical constructs. I like it. It keeps it grounded a little bit, in my opinion. And that's all we need. So we're good on that. So we'll go ahead and place the energized void core in the center, and then the enderstone powder just goes around like this, while the rifting powder goes in the outer corners, like so. Place the iron ingots sort of like that, in sort of a diamond pattern, and then the asvesti shards go in the empty spaces. And there we go, transposition core. Now crafting this, let's get the actual numbers for you instead of just looking at those little bars. Will require 100,000 total lumens. You're going to need mostly asvesti. I wish I could look at the specific requirements. It looks like, yeah, mostly asvesti. But also Curo, maybe about less than a quarter, but then Zambaru and Galazio. Okay, so we've got plenty of that obviously in this cheat table. So we'll just whack it and craft it. Now, like I said, you're gonna need 2 of these. I have 2 of them because this is good to build 1 gate, but you need to build 2 gates or more at least, because you gotta have an entrance and then you gotta have an exit. So let's go ahead and build the multi-block. It's not huge, but it's fairly sizable. I think it's about the same. I think it fits in the same footprint as the ritual table. But let's go ahead and build this somewhere nearby so that I can easily give it all of its crystal energies. We'll put it right over here. This is a good little spot for it. We'll just sort of clear out the land a little bit as well while we go ahead and do that. All right. So we're going to put it over here. I keep forgetting to hit the little bookmark button. Oh, but we don't want to go over there anymore. We want to go down to the bottom to the multi-block section, go over to Endgame, and go to our Transposition Gate picture. We'll go into 2D mode because that's the easiest one to check. So the center of this is the aura stabilizer, followed by the resonance rings. And then it's a 9 by 6 by 9. So make sure you have a 9 by 9 area and it's 6 tall. So there can't be anything else within this area or the multi-block might not work. So aura stabilizer, 2 resonance rings, a standard crystalline stone, and then brick. The brick goes all the way around. So we'll go ahead and grab that stuff. Aura stabilizer, resonance ring, crystalline stone, and brick. So pick your center point and place down your aura stabilizer. On all 4 sides of the stabilizer, go ahead and place your resonance rings, 2 of them. Then crystalline stone, like so. It's sort of like you know, a 3 long little thing. You'll end up with like this iron cross looking thing. Pretty cool. And then all the way around the outside, we use crystalline stone bricks. And those will, of course, encase the entire thing. Now, did I hit the right button? I did. We also need our shielding cloak and our corners in here. So the way that works, corner, shielding cloak. Once you have this shape, before you put the bricks around it, go ahead and put your crystalline stone corners in the like in the corners, like right there. So it forms this nice little pattern right around the aura stabilizer. And then the shielding cloak goes just like that in the little 3-block gap that's left. And then the stone bricks just surround the entire thing, like so. Broke the shielding cloak. Alright, so that's the base level of the Transposition Gate. So we'll go back and we'll go up a level. Now this is when you start building the pillars. The pillars are 1, 2, 3, 4 high. Okay? So we'll go ahead and grab that, and we also need this. Go back in. Oh, I did it. I hit the wrong. I didn't hit the bookmark. I'm so bad at this. Okay, so 1, 2, and on the 3rd level is where our stabilizers go, and then another level of that. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got it in the right spot, right? No, I don't. It's all the way on the edge. If we go to 3D view, we can get a better look at that. It's a good thing I checked, otherwise I would be building this completely incorrectly. So right on the edge, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now we add corner, energized beam, and engraved brick. So our corner is there, our energized beam is here, and our engraved crystalline stone. So corner on top of each of these, which looks really neat from the side because it doesn't actually turn towards it. Maybe it'll do that when we... it does it on one side. Beam, 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 beam. Oh, there it goes. See, now that the corners are all oriented properly. It looks neat. And then the engraved on the end of that. So we'll go ahead and place down the engraved crystalline stone. Now we place our actual core right on top of the aura stabilizer. And if we did everything correctly, we will have this amazing beaut of a device. It only shows up the awesome looking design there if you build it right. If I place down one over here, it just doesn't do anything. So you'll know that you got the multi-block right when it actually looks like this, because it won't look like this if you got it wrong. So as we can see, lumen energy is pouring out through our network. It's coming into the transposition gate. If we look at the center, we can see the core. That's where the power is going to. So you got to make sure that the power can get to the very center. Okay, so it would, mine works out great because this one over here can sort of bypass this column and get there. But you may want to have a repeater around over here somewhere just so that it can get to the center here. You're not trying to give the power to like the upper part here. It goes right to the middle. Now, if we walk into this, we get this this GUI. Now, again, if you've watched the Rev 3 series, you know how this works. This box here will show you all of the gates, the transmission gates currently in the dimension, the world. And if we hover over it, we get to see a screenshot of basically what we were looking at when we stepped into it. It's kind of funny that it actually shows the GUI in that screenshot, but it shows you, you walk into it, it generates that little preview so that you can kind of tell what's around it. Now you can reload this preview with that button, and then we end up with a different preview. So that's the kind of preview that I was talking about. That looks really nice. It shows you the area around it so that you sort of know where you're going before you go there. But if you've noticed, there's only one node on this list here. It's kind of useless without another gate, like I said. Now, it doesn't have to be your gate. If you're on a multiplayer server, every transposition gate in that dimension will show up on this list, and you can travel there. But there are some features about the gate that are helpful for multiplayer. So we'll get to that after we go ahead and build this additional gate over here. So I'm just going to skip to the end of it because you've already seen me build one of these. You don't need to see me build another one. I'll be back when this is done. Alright, I'm back. I'm actually recording this a bit later. We've got our portal finished, and Reika has answered a few questions for me. So first things first, this crystalline energy stabilizer that you need in order to build these things cannot be crafted. The only way of producing these yourself is to use item fabrication, which we haven't talked about yet, but we will. So if you want to build these and you don't have that yet, which let's be honest, you probably will at that point, you're going to need to pillage them, steal them from pylons, at least initially. Then once you can fabricate new ones, replace them, get the pylons back up and running. But you'll have to take these blocks out of the pylons and use them to build these transposition gates. So let's get back into it. So I've built this second gate. It's right over here. The other one is right over there. We're going to step into this and we're going to see the GUI. And you're going to be able to see a couple of things here. So the portals are represented on this GUI by little diamonds. Okay, so this is the one that we built at the base, the one where you saw the lumen energy going into, and this one up here is being represented by a yellow diamond. Now, what the yellow diamond means is that this gate is not powered. So even though there's a repeater literally right here, it can't get line of sight to the center there because it's blocked by one of the arms of the gate. And this one over here, apparently it looks like the path is clear. Maybe it's too far away. The reception range is 32. I don't know. But for some reason, this gate is not receiving power from the Lumen network, and so it's an unpowered gate. Now, you can still use it, but there's a couple of restrictions when it comes to unpowered gates and powered gates. So I can teleport from a unpowered gate to a powered gate, or vice versa. But I can't teleport between two unpowered gates. So I can't go from this yellow gate to another yellow gate. It has to be a yellow to a white or a white to a yellow. So all I have to do now is click on this little diamond. It'll power up and it'll teleport me over there. It's pretty cool. I like the power up sequence. It's pretty quick. I really like this thing. So now we're teleported back over to our main base. Now there's a couple of settings that you're going to want to make use of for the transposition gate. By default, the color is blue. This means that this is a public gate. So this isn't going to matter so much on a single-player game. In fact, it's not going to matter at all. But on a multiplayer server, this is really important because right now, anybody can go from one of their gates to one of yours. Now, I own this gate. Nobody can actually use it unless I make them a key. So we've seen before, especially if you watch the Rev series, that you need to make keys and then share them with other players so that they can use your constructs. So another player on a multiplayer server wouldn't be able to step into my gate and teleport somewhere else, but they would be able to use their gate to teleport to mine. That's probably a bad thing because you don't want random people teleporting into your base. So if I right click on this, now remember, you got to right click on the transposition core, which is a block that we've placed directly above the aura stabilizer, so you kind of got to fiddle with it and get the point right there. Now that it's this sort of purple magenta color, this is a private gate. So only somebody that owns the gate, or I assume has been given a key to the gate, can teleport to this gate. Okay? If I look at the GUI, there's no difference here. The diamond doesn't change colors or anything, but this is a private gate. So another player on a server cannot teleport to this gate. Now, as far as I know, they'll still be able to see it on the map, and because it shows you the coordinates, they'd still know where your gate is, but they'd have to walk there or something. So you wouldn't be able to teleport straight here if you're not someone that I've already given permission to use this gate. Now there are a couple of other settings here. If I hold shift and right click, I can turn the gate bright yellow or bright red. And these actually do things. Now, this is all a reference to Civilization Beyond Earth, because that's what the design of this was based on. Now, the yellow gate was the Emancipation Gate from the Supremacy victory, and that was a gate that you sent units through in order to win the game. Conversely, the red one is the Purity victory condition, where people came through the gate and you settled them on the new planet. Now, this actually informs what these two settings do. Now, a yellow gate like this is it's only an outgoing gate. Okay, so I can go through here and I can teleport over to this yellow gate, the unpowered gate, the one that we've got over there that you can see in the distance. But if I step through this gate, I will not be able to teleport to this one. See, it's giving me that little thing there. Because this gate over here is only an outgoing gate. Conversely, I can also change this one red, which means this is an incoming gate. So if I go into this gate, I cannot teleport to any other gates. Okay? Now, in order to demonstrate that, I realize I actually have to turn this thing not yellow, because if it stays yellow, then that doesn't mean anything. Oh no, wait, this is an incoming gate. So I can use this gate and I can teleport to another... no, wait, what? I'm confusing myself. This should be an incoming gate. I shouldn't be able to teleport from it. Yes, I got that right. This is bending my brain for some weird reason. This is an incoming only gate. The yellow ones are outgoing only. So if you turn your gate red, nobody can teleport anywhere else from that gate. You can only teleport to it. So if I come over here and go through this one, I'll still be able to teleport to this one. See? Because that gate is red, this is basically a destination gate, is I think the best way to put it. This red one is a destination gate, whereas the yellow one is an outgoing gate. Okay? So I hope I haven't confused you too much. But now, there's actually something else that these gates allow you to do, and that's linking through dimensions. So you look over here, I've got a nether portal over there, because I went to the nether and I built a gate there. And that's what this one is way over here that you've probably been seeing when I go into the GUI. This one, if I look at it, it says dimension -1. This is the nether. So I can actually teleport from the overworld into the nether using this gate. Sick. Now there are some restrictions involved with teleporting to other dimensions, because remember the difference between a powered gate and an unpowered gate. Because there's no lumen energy, no lumen network in the nether, only in the overworld, which I think that this blue diamond represents it. Now it's turned blue. Maybe that represents it being in the overworld. I'm not exactly sure though, but it's blue. Because this gate is unpowered and it can never be powered because there's no lumens in the nether, you can't set up a transposition gate in the nether and then use them to teleport around. You can only teleport from the overworld to the nether or the nether to the overworld. You'll never be able to teleport, you know, inside the nether to multiple gates because you can't power them. And the same goes for the end or any other dimensions. Presumably you could set these up in any dimension that a mod adds and teleport back and forth to the overworld, but you can't teleport interdimensionally except in the overworld. So if I step back through this gate, I can't teleport over here because it's also an unpowered gate. Remember, this one's still red, so I should be able to teleport to it, but I can't because they're both yellow. I gotta teleport back here. So those are the settings on the transposition gate. So there's a lot of customization that you can do with your gate network between making some gates outgoing only, some gates incoming only, teleporting to different dimensions, setting them public or private. So a lot of tools, a lot of cool settings. I really like the transposition gate. It's really useful, especially when it comes to teleporting between dimensions, because let's be honest, those obsidian portals are old-fashioned, and on multiplayer servers not even very reliable, because you know, maybe your nether portal might transport you somewhere completely different than where you were before, whereas these transposition gates will always teleport you to the same location because they are constructs built in the world. They are reliable, more reliable than those nether portals. I hate using those on multiplayer servers because they don't ever work properly. But yeah, so that's the transposition gate. It's one of my favorite things from ChromatiCraft. Definitely check it out. Really fun, really useful. So thank you guys so much for watching. I don't want this video to be too long. Like and comment the video down below if you did enjoy it. It really helps me out with YouTube's algorithm, and I enjoy talking to you guys in the comments. Even if I don't always get to answer every comment, I try to answer as many as I can. I am working full time. Join our Discord if you're interested in chatting with us. I'm SentinalH, and I'm signing out.